To make it, use it that way. These, you have them, right? Yeah. These come from what I call hatras. You would know it as the anglicized word, which is Hatteras. It is bordered by what I call the Pamplico sound. You might know that as Pamlico. On the west and on the east, it's the Atlantic Ocean. My people come from those islands, and they come from what we call the Inner Banks, which is across the Sound. And that's not a small body of water. That's 25 miles wide. So that's almost an ocean itself. And I'm mixed. Most of us in the East are. And I'm mixed with these three individuals that you see on this book. I'm a double cancer survivor. I was blessed to celebrate my 70th winter here in February. And in Labor Day weekend 2012, I was diagnosed with something that I never bothered to remember. It's 21 letters long, and I don't care what it was called. I care what it was, and that thankfully I don't have it anymore. It did leave a mark, and it took my right shoulder. It was bone cancer. It was, at the time, this was 7 years ago, there were only 25 cases of this cancer reported worldwide. So it was obviously not genetic, it was not hereditary, and there's really nothing you could connote it to that caused it. And the reason I mention that, and by the way, I had a year later, I had prostate cancer, so you know, before that, I was walking around in my early 60s looking like I was 40 and full of myself and whatever. So the creation, sometimes will redirect you. And that might mean taking you to the next world, or it might mean taking something away from you and replacing it with something else. Usually that's humility. And humility is probably the most beautiful aspect of humanity, in my opinion. And I'm grateful for it. I mean, there are moments when I look in the mirror and I see what this physical deformity, and honestly it hurts a little bit, but the humility that I was given has led me in a different direction. And it's made me a much better human being. Honestly, it was tough having two in a row, because the second one was diagnosed almost a year later on the date that I had the surgery for this one. So, you know, like I said, it was a blessing. How do you get through this stuff? You get through it any way you can. You get through it with a Holtewakan, which is the Lenape dialect of Algonquin word for love. Qualula, which is the word for hope. Hence, the name of this book, Hope on Hatras. This book may have helped some people. It helped me, because I was writing it when I was diagnosed. And I got it done, and even now I look back on this and I see that whole puzzle. I see that mosaic of the pieces that were being put together to make up the human being that I am today. And again, Kinanawe Wadawanishi, grandfather, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful to be a part of yet another nation the nation of cancer survivors. And those of you who have or have had cancer, or have someone that you're caring for that has cancer or has had it, I'd like to connect with you after this is over with if we have time. I don't want to take up too much more time now talking about me. I love the subject of me, but, you know, there are other people in the room. So after this, I'd like to connect with you if you would like that. And thank you for the opportunity.